everyone, welcome back. It's just the two of us and I am so excited because today I get to interview our very own Brianne Lapp.
Yes.
And Noah Esther Lapp. Welcome
hi.
to the world, buddy. I'm
Say
gonna
thanks.
ask her some questions about the new mommyhood and how she's experiencing it and her journey leading up to it, because it was a little bit of a road
Journey,
to
yeah.
walk, right? A journey.
Yes.
And we have heard a lot about what she thinks about certain subjects and how she likes, but I'm just so excited to delve in and get to know you better, who you really
know,
are,
right?
what you love. So thanks so
Yes.
much for coming and being willing to do this. Sometimes
Yes.
it's easier to ask the questions.
I
than
know,
to-
right?
Right?
But I'm excited. Thank
okay,
you.
okay.
I mean, yeah, what new mom doesn't want to talk about motherhood and
Yes.
what they've just gone through? I mean,
Yes.
it's good
yes.
to talk. So.
And I feel as moms, we always keep learning.
Yes.
I hear different stories, and I've heard
From
so
one
many
another.
stories of different women, and I just keep on learning, you know?
Yes.
So we can never know enough.
Yes.
So tell
Yes.
us, who is Brianne? Like, what do
Yes.
we need to know?
Such a loaded question, but I mean, there's
What
so
do you
many
wanna
ways
tell
to
us?
go. But I would say for me, I'm creative.
Yes.
I love being creative with words. I love to write. So I would say,
Yes.
who's Brianne? Someone that loves to express herself
Yes.
through writing
Yes.
and just, lover of people, truly. And I know that might sound like, shouldn't everybody love people? But I've always kind of loved.
Not everybody does.
I shouldn't say kind of, but I've always, true.
Yeah.
Even as a young girl, my mom, she always said that we'd go to a park or anywhere random and I would just make friends and I would
Yeah.
just love,
Yeah.
I just love people. So I'm a coach.
Yes.
And these are all roles, of course.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, wow, who we are isn't necessarily just what we do, but
Yes.
I think it's part of it for
Yeah.
sure. So I love to coach women through breakthroughs through in their spiritual journey or their actually just all of it, like wellness, which would be like in their mind, their emotions, their physical
Yes.
body, and then their spiritual selves as well.
Yes.
And I'm certified, so that is something that I've just recently taken on.
Okay. And you love
And
it?
I do
How
love
are
it.
you
And I've
experiencing it?
Yes, I've just been able to dabble a little bit in the coaching part because I was pregnant
Yes.
before I even got my certification. I found out I was pregnant, so
Okay.
I was pregnant,
Yes.
getting started,
Yeah.
and I've only been it's 7 weeks on Tuesday. He's 7 weeks.
Okay.
Or
Wow.
was 7 weeks this past Tuesday. So
So cute.
so that's been interesting. I do, the viewers, if you've seen the last episode, Rhonda Hostetter was here,
Yes.
and she is amazing. And I work with her with the masterminds and facilitating them. Thank you.
Guys, we are real.
Spit up.
You know,
Yeah.
she's a new mommy, so this is
Yes.
just how it goes.
That's right.
There
He's
you
being
go,
good.
buddy. Oh.
As long as he's not screaming, we're happy.
Yeah.
So
how are you experiencing the new mommyhood? I remember, especially because this is your first one,
yes.
there's always so much advice coming. Different people want to tell you their story, how
Right.
their journey went, how
Right.
they did it, what you're all gonna go through, and everybody wants to have their little say.
Yeah.
But how are you experiencing it, him being your first? Is it everything you thought it was going to be, or more,
Yes.
or in certain areas less?
Yes. So I had a friend asked me a question the other day. Like, she said, did you love, obviously I loved him right away. And she's like, I love my kids right away.
Sure.
But did you like the whole, like, being a mom right away? And there's a stranger that you're getting to know.
Yeah.
And you're basically attached to him 24/7. And
Yes.
if you're breastfeeding, which I am, it's like all the time, it feels like. And she said, because for her, I guess it was a little hard. It was difficult at first.
Yes.
And
yes.
honestly, I never thought about, I was never asked that question. And so when I thought about it, I was like, definitely. Like, I loved being a mom, like when I first held him. It was like the strangest thing. And I don't know if it's because I've given myself, well, I shouldn't say I've given myself.
Yeah.
God's, the timing and everything of being a mom. I'm a little older. I'll be 30 soon. So I think the place where I'm at in my life, I think I definitely handle things probably better than what I would have when I wanted to have kids, which was like 21,
I hear you.
22.
Yes.
And so
it's a different stage of life.
it is a different stage.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely not what I expected because I didn't know what to expect.
Sure.
It's harder than I thought. It's not as breastfeeding isn't as natural. Like didn't come as natural as I thought it would.
It is work.
Things like that. Yeah.
It is work. I don't think everybody, just because we feel it's on our body.
Oh my word.
And it's just gonna naturally happen.
Just like
but it doesn't, and every kid can be different.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. So is there something in your process, your pregnancy and the birthing process, that you would choose to do differently, or that you, because when it happens,
Yes,
and
true.
It just, we
you
can have a certain picture, but it doesn't always mean. So is there something that you would have hoped went different, or you would have done differently?
Yeah, I think that it's amazing because when I look back, my original plan was to have just my husband and I in the room.
Okay.
In the delivery room.
Yes.
And that's exactly how it happened.
Okay.
Even though we had a doula, we had a photographer, but things went so quickly, and I labored at home until I was in transition. Like literally, I labored until my water broke.
Wow.
And I didn't realize I was that close. So if I could go back and change things, I probably would have called my doula a little bit more. I did call her a couple times just to let her know, like, I'm feeling this, but I didn't know it was as intense as it was.
Yes.
Because I really would have loved to, you know, have had her there with the oils and I don't know, the different techniques, but like you said, you have your plan.
And I like that. The doula is a new thing for me.
Yeah.
Because when I had my kids, we didn't really have that. It is a little bit of a new...
It's a little bit newer. Yeah, like in the last... Well, I guess they've been around, but maybe it's just more and more in this area. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like with women wanting to do things naturally and just the way nature goes, goes a lot with that. And
he's eating his hand, so
but he's a good baby.
Yeah, he is. Yes. So I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it went in hindsight the way that it did because it was special.
So, unfortunately, in your journey of having him, you had to wait a while.
Yeah.
And you endured a miscarriage. Oh my word, he is the baby cries don't bother me at all. I mean, I think they're so
adorable.
Cute. Yeah. Even if they're like loud or whatever, they're just still like,
I know.
The mouths and stuff.
Yeah, and their little pout.
So when you endured a miscarriage before giving birth to Noah, could you tell us a little bit about that and how did you experience that? Because I'm sure, especially because that was actually your first.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was
hard.
something hard to go through.
Yeah. It was, and it was actually just a few months after my husband and I got married. So that was really a whirlwind of emotions.
Yes.
You know, at first we were like, we aren't ready, like, which are you ever really? But we were really freshly married and,
He wants to have a
and
say
so,
too.
I know. And so that was, you know, okay, come here. So that was definitely, like we found out we were pregnant, and the couple days later we had an ultrasound, and then a week later had another one, and it wasn't viable anymore. So it was like a 2-week high and then really low. Emotionally, you know, like that roller coaster. But God, I feel like I drew closer to God through that. I mean, he was always, like he is, always close to us. But, you know, we sometimes tend to just have to go through certain things. And then we're like, wow, I need you. I can't get through this on my own. So it was good in that way, like my relationship. And even my relationship with Jensen, it
Yeah.
strengthened us.
Okay. Wow.
And I was able to, I think I wrote about it before I really talked about it.
Yeah.
And I blogged.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I read some of your.
Okay.
Stuff. That was really.
And it's amazing how, I mean, a lot of women would reach out and say, wow,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Yes.
Which to me, I love
Yeah.
people. Like I said, I love to help people. And it was healing for me that I knew my story was also helping other women.
Yes. Because talking about that, other women, it's actually miscarriage is very common, or seems to be more common than we think. I think it's about 1 in 6 women have a miscarriage before week 20.
Before week
have
20,
you have you found this to be true? Like, have you met a lot of other women that went through the same thing?
Yes,
and,
I have.
And that it's...
And in fact, it's helped. I think it's amazing. It actually, you can become friends with someone because you've gone through something so
very
deep and intimate.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So I know, like, your sister-in-law, my friend Jolene, that's someone that, you know, it's like you get to talk to about what you're going through, and they've gone through it.
Yeah.
And your eyes are open to how many women do go through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the more we talk about it, is going to be freeing for women.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking when I read and researched a little bit and saw actually how common it is. And even realizing how many women I know that actually had one or multiple. I've never been through that, but I do think it's a painful subject. So a lot of times we don't talk about it because it's intimate, you know. But I'm sure that, you know, hearing about it and sharing those experiences, other people can relate to that and know, oh, I'm not alone.
Exactly.
That thing.
Yeah.
So that was my next question. Like, do you find that it's still difficult for women to talk about, or do you feel like there is more of a, how would you say that? It's more common that people are more open about it.
I think that.
How did you find that?
I think that even with a lot of things, like even with just being a new mom and breastfeeding and things like that, there's a lot of support these days through Facebook and like having Facebook support pages or Instagram where people can have a platform, even if they don't necessarily, if they're introverted and they don't necessarily want the platform to be, you know, something more than just them, just to write and talk about what they're going through. And then they can, you know, they can follow other women that are going through similar things or have gone through similar things. I think social media has made it a lot more, almost not easy to share because it's never easy.
No, okay.
But almost like if I share, it's not going to be, I'll be heard, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And there's people out there who care and if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. And you shared a little bit how you pulled your strength from God. So, but how do you, in those hardships in life, like how do you pull it together and still stay positive, especially not that it makes it less if it's your second or third, but that was your first, you know, and how do you stay positive through that?
Yeah, it was definitely, it's funny because sometimes when you're more of a positive person and or you're extroverted, like you don't just keep things in. I feel like healing, it definitely came fast right away, and then it was a journey. Like it felt like it was fast, so I had a lot of support, but then it was about Mother's Day a year after, or like the first Mother's Day that it would have been my first Mother's Day, so a year ago, was really hard, and it hit me that day, and I'm like, whoa, I thought I was over this in a way, and I realized you don't ever really get over, you know, it's your child, and even if it's in a 9-week, gestation, 9 weeks, it's still a child. So, but I think just staying positive, it is being positive is a mindset, but having hope is a totally different thing. It's not a mindset. It's a something from the heart, and it's spiritual. Do you know what I mean? Like, I believe my hope is found in God and in God alone. Truly, because and that's not just a saying. It's true.
Right.
You know, without hope, and that's actually his name. So his name is Noah, and his middle name is Alistair.
Yes.
And I chose Alistair because his in the name book, the verse that was attached to Alistair was one that kept me through like the first trimester, because it was hard to have courage, and it's Psalm. Oh, now I can't remember, but it's wait patiently on the Lord. Let your heart take courage. Yeah. Wait patiently on the Lord, and I think
you have good courage.
Yeah. Yes.
I think it's 27.
Yeah, 27:14 maybe, or something like that. And I was like, yes, my heart needs to take courage. Like, it's an action, you know. Yeah. And so staying positive, and it's like you have to choose and take action. In that. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm learning. That's some really good stuff. So having been through certain hurdles in life, and what you have learned, what would you tell your younger self? I love this question, because I'm always thinking like, oh my word, I went through this situation, and if I only knew when I was so what would you tell young Brianne? Oh my
I know.
You are just cute. I can't help it.
Oh, I know. It's like,
good baby crying. It's healthy.
Hey. So I would tell myself that. Yeah, I was gonna say.
We're real.
How do they know when you're sitting? Like, seriously, when I sit down, it's like he knows.
I know.
And then if I stand up and I do this, I hold it the same way, it's like he's fine. Yeah. But once I sit down.
Yeah, or they fall asleep on you, and then you go and you do that whole ninja thing, and you lay them down, and they're like, and then you pull yourself away.
Like finger by finger.
Literally on the second, okay?
Yeah.
They just know.
They're like, you're not touching me anymore. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Funny.
So I think, because I think, when I think of like my younger self, I think of those teenage years and like high school. This is where I'm going, right? Okay, so I would say just be patient. Like, be patient with how the way your life is unfolding, because I have, and I know Rhonda, she shared, in the previous episode, just to take each season as it comes, and not to wish it away and things like that. And for me though, it's just finding like patience in the moments, because especially now, this is all I can think about, right now. Yeah. And it's like, I can't wait till we're, getting better at breastfeeding, and I can't wait till he's just a little older so that I can have 4 hours of a stretch without, feeding him and things like that. And I'm like, just be patient, because eventually you're going to wish stuff back. So I remember I couldn't wait to, get a job. Well, I was 14 when I got my first job. I wish I would have just had fun, that's very at Dutch
good.
Wonderland, so it was a fun job. But still, I worked ever since, though.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I moved out when I was 19, started paying rent when I was 19, and I'm like, I wish I would have just stayed home a little bit, But yet, all of that makes us who we are.
True.
But it's still, I guess that's something I would tell myself.
But being patient, that is very in the moment.
Yeah, and in the moment.
Yeah.
And with your relationships, being patient. Like, not everybody is where you're at.
Right.
So.
And life moves at a fast pace.
It does.
So it's like, I feel for myself, you just have to, because there's so many different things that we're doing and involved in, or whatever it is. If you have multiple kids, one kid, being a wife, being a mom, being a businesswoman, being a friend and family to someone. There's so many different things.
Yeah.
that sometimes you can just be focused on the next thing to do,
Yeah.
the next thing to do, what's on my
Exactly.
list, for today or for the week, and it goes by like that.
Yes.
So
I
that's
don't know why we're
very,
so hardwired that way, but
very important. Yeah,
it's like it goes against nature
trying
to
to
kind
challenge
of
myself.
change
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Do you
Yeah.
have a favorite quote that you want to share with us?
Yeah, there's so many, but
There's so
I know we
many,
say
I
that
know,
every
right?
time. Something that I used to, so you know how you kind of have a season with one quote and then another quote,
Yes.
you know.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was about maybe a few years ago, I learned this quote, and it's what you focus on expands. And it was helping me in my business that way, but now I'm kind of like going back to that, because even just with our thoughts or with
Yes.
how we handle a situation, like when he's crying and I'm really frustrated, and Jensen, my husband, might be frustrated because he's not getting as much sleep as he's normally getting either.
Yeah.
Instead of being frustrated or get angry, or I'm just like, okay, if I do that, it's going to have a ripple effect. So if what I focus on expands, if I'm focusing on the fact that we're all miserable right now, and I'm so mad, and I'm just he's screaming his head off, and that's what I want to do, that's going to make it worse. It's going to get bigger.
Yeah.
But if I calm myself, or in anything, if you're trying to achieve something, like in your job or in your career, and those negative limiting beliefs that we tell ourselves, it's like if we really accept those, and we focus on like our weaknesses, that's what we're going to stay in. And that's just going to get bigger. But if we focus on where we want to go, I think doors start to open.
I like that. I never heard it in that way. I've heard where focus goes, energy flows.
Oh, yeah.
So whether good
That
or
makes
bad,
sense.
and I like how you say that, because it's good or bad. Whatever you feed, it expands. So where you focus your energy on. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I like that.
can
I'm
use
like,
it
when I hear people say quotes, I'm like thinking about it. I'm like chewing it, I'm like, ooh, I like that. I like that.
I like quotes that anybody can use for any situation. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, girl.
Oh, yeah.
I think he
Oh my
did great.
goodness.
What did you think? I mean, he is just so adorable. Hey, buddy.
He's pretty
Thank you for coming
awesome.
on, Noah.
Thank you.
And Bree, thanks so much for sharing a little bit about yourself and about your life.
Thank you.
So as you heard, she's a coach, and you can follow her on Facebook and Instagram. She is the woman on Instagram, and then woman.com is her website, and on Facebook she is the Well Woman, and you can follow her there. She shares about her coaching and her life, and go check her out, give her a like, give her some love, and give her a shout out.
You'll see lots of pictures of this one.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
love it. Yes. So I hope you found something you could relate to. I hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever you're doing today, whenever you're watching. But make sure you give us a like, a share, subscribe, and we will see you next time at Esther and Friends.
Yes. Bye.